Hey, welcome to Keone Exposed Outdoors. I am kitty sitting for my friend Jane, and it's a beautiful day, and I'm on Brighton Beach, and there's one part of Brighton Beach which is a naked beach, which I thought would be a good opportunity to do a little video. It's lovely being outside. It's quite weird being out of the room, but it's definitely makes it sound like I never leave the room. But you know what I mean. But it's great. I lived in Brighton for about 6 years and I love it. I love the weirdness. I love the fact that coming back to it almost 10 years after I left, it's sort of exactly the same. Shops have closed, other shops have opened, there's a zip wire, but it's still that sort of very gay, very camp, very end of the pier, very end of the land quality. And I love it. And one thing I used to love doing when I came along the beach when I lived here was collecting Hag Stones. So this is a piece of chalk, not a stone, but it's got a hole in the middle. Look, yay! And Neil Gaiman in Coraline talks about the magical protective properties of a Hag Stone. So I've always kind of associated them with that since reading it, and just enjoyed them. I really like the oddness, you know, the fact that stones are so often in our imagination solid and impenetrable and full and complete. I love the idea of something that is and yet also isn't that. And it also makes me think about the idea of being naked outside. You know, we're not always comfortable with our bodies, and we're certainly not always comfortable about showing them or displaying them or being in them naked outside with other people around. And there's something about being imperfect, which I think we're still getting up to speed with. We're still working on how to fully accept all of us when we're not just naked, but when we're just around and about and being in ourselves. Something that happened to me that is a result of starting doing these videos is that apart from having one random troll who told me to use less fluoride, I had a really, really negative reaction from my mother, from Nia, who had a problem with me wearing makeup and was, you know, to use her word, horrified. So obviously that's her thing and not mine. But what it did remind me of was, as a kid, you know, I first put on makeup, I think, when I was 4 years old. It was my grandmother's rouge, and obviously little tranny little gay boy that I was, straight to the makeup. But at some point that must have been discouraged, and there must have been a moment when adults around were like, no, you're not going to do this. And what's interesting about shame is the way, certainly for me, that once we've experienced it, probably most times when we're too young to even remember it, we've internalized it. So we don't have to be shamed again because we're the ones who are doing the shaming. And that little hole, if you want to see it as such, or the difference, the thing that makes us not like, you know, your solid pebble, but your slightly more interesting thing with a hole in the middle, becomes something that we try desperately to fill and try desperately to cover up and conceal. And rather than just be able to step out in whatever shape we are and however we want to present ourselves to the world and whatever feels right for us, we start to worry about what other people will think of us if they see it, and how we can hide it, how we can disguise it. And I'm intrigued as to, especially with a hole, what we imagine needs to go in there in its place. So, I'm very happy that I'm wearing makeup, and Nia, if you're watching this, I really celebrate it, and I don't need anyone else to. It's important that I do. So I'm going to go now because I want to make these a bit shorter. It's very easy to talk for ages. People have limited attention spans. Everyone's got loads to do. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.